this is the bit when you know your tummy is gonna be happy because it's like 7:55. A few of you might be hungry. I'll make it like really quick. Sometimes word of thanks is like one of the hardest things to speak for two reasons. One, because you've already thanked all of them, but at the same time you want to give them special mention. That's what I'm going to do in the next 5 to 6 minutes. Firstly, I would like to thank Chris because, as he rightly mentioned, this is like one thing we should probably take from what Chris has mentioned is like this is our space. Like we pay tax for it. I'm pretty sure all of you pay tax. If you don't, you have to pay tax. Otherwise, there's a chance that fair work is coming behind you. So you should pay tax. And as you rightly mentioned, like we should make use of places like this. Do not drop Chris a lot of emails because then he'd be like, hey, I went to this event and I'm like, please you make use of this place, and I got like 150 emails in the next 1 hour. So please don't drop him emails right now, but let's try to make use of this place. And I'm really happy that he came for SAHA launch and he helped us in this launch. I would also like to thank John and Ashika, if I got your name right. If not, I'm really sorry. I really felt connected when you mentioned those stories because when I was a kid, right, like coming from India, and most of my Indian friends would get connected with it. If you don't get 100 out of 100 in science, you'd be beaten to death. Like I remember I got like 97 once in my science exam and my parents bet me so hard. I was like, I still remember crying for it. But today you grow up, you learn science, and you try to teach the same science to people who asked you to study science. Suddenly everyone goes gaga. Suddenly everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe that Earth is revolving around the sun. And I'm like, yeah, in my 9th standard or 8th standard, I wrote the same thing. And that's why I got like 100 marks in my science. And suddenly now you're telling me that the sun revolves around the Earth. And that's why you want to make me buy like this house and not this house. And you want me to do a few specific things. Doesn't make any sense, does it? So when you were mentioning those stories, I was like deeply connected, and thanks a lot. In fact, when I was walking in Chipindale, I do remember seeing Humanist House a couple of times, but then I was like, I should definitely walk into this house one day. But after seeing that Mr. Babu has spoken last Sunday, I think you would see me more often. Thanks to Rajan Prasad. Well, okay, I shouldn't be really thanking Rajan Prasad because they are like backbones for the whole thing that you're seeing right now. I should probably say, Rajan Prasad, you guys did an amazing job. Big round of applause to you. And as Prasad Garu rightly mentioned, it's quite funny how you come out of India and then when you're an immigrant, suddenly you start getting multiple labels. I was telling this to someone the other day. Like, for example, a normal person, if you would want to say how Prasad has given speech, you would be like, Prasad gave this amazing speech. But if a normal irrational person would have to define Prasad Garu, again, Prasad Garu, no offense, or Abhijeth, they would be like, oh, a brown, skinny Indian immigrant gave a vote of thanks, which is how, unfortunately, the world sees us. But you have to realize that these labels should go away and we should all embrace the whole concept of humanism. And thanks to Saradi Garu and Kiran Garu, that was really nice speech. I really understood that it is nice to appreciate different thoughts, and that's what SAHA is all about. And Mr. Babu Gogineni, or Babu Garu, what do I tell about him? I have pure love for him. I keep saying this multiple times, and I'm pretty sure not just people in this room, there are about hundreds of thousands of people in India who just love him for what he's been doing in the last few years. Well, I should maybe I'll take a step back. It is wrong just for me to say people in India. There are people across the globe who love Babu Gogineni. In fact, there are a lot of his English speeches. In fact, someone told me about Babu Gogineni, and that person was not even an Indian. Like, in fact, 2 weeks ago, I was in Poland. I was talking to someone. I actually pinged Babu Gogineni about the same thing too. And then she was like, do you know this person called Babu Gogineni from India? He's from south of India. I'm like, you have no idea how much I love them. So the reason I keep saying this again and again is the kind of work that Babu Gogineni is doing is unimaginable, especially coming from a country where most people do believe themselves to be religious, especially coming from a country where you're asked to study science but not believe science, especially coming from a place where people do not understand definitions properly. Babu Gogineni has been doing a tremendous job, and I can't thank you enough, Babu Gogineni, because I don't think thank you isn't enough word in English that will convey all our love to you. So I can only say we are hoping to see you again in Australia, or this is just the first time. This is the first time we are launching SAHA event. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see each other at SAHA's first anniversary, second anniversary, 10th anniversary, I don't know, nth anniversary. There's another thing I keep saying again and again. This is for you. If you really love this man and if you really love what he's doing, you should be a Babu Gogineni in your own circle. You should be a Babu Gogineni in whatever you could do, especially when you're talking to people with different beliefs, especially when you're talking to people from different identities or different people who don't understand science or people who are trying to understand science. Try to learn from what he does and try to get inspired from him. I mean, what else could you do? Also, I would like to thank Rudra Garu. Rudra Garu, I'm standing here and trying to tell you you're not alone. You do have a family here. Well, I can tell you when I was a kid, and I'm sure a few of you would agree with me, when I was a kid and you were in a class and somebody said, hey, I don't believe in God, you used to think, oh my God, there's something wrong with this person. Like this person has to go to a doctor. In saying that whole statement, you're kind of saying, hey, this person has to go to a doctor, but you're not saying this person has to go to a God. Because you know you can see doctor, but you don't know if you can see God or not. Which is kind of you agreeing to the fact that you believe in science and not religion. And I hope I make a lot of sense. In fact, last Sunday, I was at this event where we were talking about whether science and religion can coexist. After the entire debate, I was like, everyone were asking, what's your takeaway from this? I do like to crack a lot of jokes. So I said, yeah, sure. My takeaway, well, I'm speaking on someone else here. My takeaway here would be, if I'm sick, I'd probably go to the hospital and would want to go. I don't want to go to heaven. So that explains a lot of stories. That explains what you want to believe and what you don't want to believe. And one final thing, I actually don't know the photographer's name, but thanks to him, thanks to Udaya Garu, and actually thanks to everyone who came to this event, because if there were nobody here and there were just the speakers, imagine 6 speakers talking to each other, it would be a discussion forum and it wouldn't be a SAHA launch. So I would really appreciate all of you coming here on a hump day. I hope you really have great Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then rest of the year or rest of your life. Thank you. Thanks a lot.